Welcome. My name is Veda Bromel, and along with me, I have my colleague Ms. Nishida Prasad, and our presentation is going to be focusing on bullying. All right, so here we'll be talking a little about the introduction. We're talking about counseling environment here. Counseling environment, it includes physical and emotional aspects, right? It's not just about the physical space, and we know that counseling helps to build trust and openness. It also is based on empathy and respect. Here in this slide, we will be looking at importance of counseling environment. So we know that the environment in which we are counseling is very important because once it is safe and supportive, it will help students to express themselves freely, which leads to better counseling outcomes. And some of these things that can happen, it can encourage openness, right? It can build trust between the student and the counselor. It can support effective communication, and it can also improve our outcomes. Key elements are physical. Now, when we're talking about physical, we're talking about a physical setup. Here, as you can see in the image, right, a physical setup must promote comfort and equality, right? Seating arrangements should not create authority barriers. The seating arrangement, of course, should be a private room, right? It should be comfortable, it should be quiet and a safe space, and also it should have equal seating arrangements. Okay, so moving on to this slide, we're talking about emotional. So we know that students are affected by bullying. They often feel vulnerable. So a supportive emotional environment can help the students to open up, right? And some of the key elements that we can have is that we can have a non-judgmental atmosphere, we can have a safe space, we can have supportive interaction, and of course, it can help to reduce fear and anxiety. Here in this slide, we're looking at communication style. Of course, the way in which we communicate with the students are very important, especially when it comes to counseling. So, effective communication helps to build trust, and it allows students to express their concerns clearly. We know that we can active listening, we can make eye contact, we can have open-ended questions, and also encouragement. We can encourage our students. Confidentiality and culture. So, students must feel safe, right, with their information. Cultural sensitivity ensures inclusiveness in diverse classroom, right? So here on the slides, we have that we must keep our information confidential, right? It can help to build trust. We have to be mindful of cultural sensitivity, and of course, we have to respect diversity. Okay, counseling tools. So, what are counseling tools? These are tools that can support awareness, it can support tracking, right? And also student engagement in counseling programs. So, let's look into some of these tools. What are some of these tools? Some of these counseling tools are posters, brochures, student records, and group activities. Okay, so I'll now hand you over to my colleague, Ms. Basar, and she will take us to the rest of the presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Barmel. So now I'll focus on the target groups. Now, students from grade 8 to grade 10 have been victims of bullying. So this program will focus on students that have been directly affected by bullying in the school system. Some of the problems that was identified was verbal abuse, social exclusion, and emotional distress. Now let's move on to the effects of bullying. Now there are common negative impacts seen among bullied students, and these impacts depicted on the image, some of them include low self-esteem, anxiety, poor academic performance, and the list can go on and on. Now the counseling setup. As you can see, we have an image here of what one of the counseling office can look like or possibly look similar to. So the counseling environment must feel welcoming and safe. It must be a space whereby students can express themselves, and it must be a calm, private environment away from all the noise and all the activities that is currently are happening in the school, and it must have a presence of a counselor. Now there are different counseling strategies, and these different strategies are used to help students to cope and to build resilience. So, some of these strategies include active listening. Listening not only to find a solution to the student's problem, but also to understand exactly what is happening in the situation that the student is explaining. Empathy, giving some sort of comfort when it's needed to the students. CBT techniques, group counseling, and role play. All of these are different strategies that counselors can use to actually help their students. Now, what are we expected out of counseling? After students agree to enter counseling, we expect certain things to come out of counseling. So we expect to have the students be improved emotionally and academically. The student become more confident in him or herself. Of course, we want and we aim for it to have less bullying cases with the students, better well-being of that student, and improve academics overall. Allow the students to be well-rounded, to be secure in themselves, and to have a voice and speak up, right? Now, to conclude our presentation on bullying, an effective counseling program can significantly improve students' life and school experience. Counseling whereby the students can see the changes in themselves, that okay, when I go to this counseling or when I go to miss, this actually occur, I actually change, I actually understand where I'm going wrong, and how can I deal with my situation, and you know the student get that external help, so that all school systems should actually support our students with. So with that, I bring our presentation to a close, and these are the resources that we would have used to gather the information for this presentation. Thank you.